The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Welcome to the NFL Alumni Las Vegas chapter Football 2019 NFL Draft, hosted by Caesars Entertainment at The Book. I am your MC, John Hightower, host of the #1 football show in Las Vegas, Football Fanbox, a show that shows everything that's positive about football in Las Vegas. Now, on today's show, we are going to have Hall of Famers, ex-players, fans, superstars, all coming together for the NFL Draft, where lives are going to be changed forever. Stay with us as we bring the best party in Las Vegas to you. This is Football Fanbox. I'm with NFL legend Floyd Little and the president of the Alumni of Las Vegas, Mr. Linden King. Now, Mr. Little, how did you choose to go to Syracuse?
Well, I got to tell you, I had 47 scholarships.
Wow.
I was recruited by General MacArthur to go to Army. Ernie Davis came to visit right after I visited Army. He had just won the Heisman. And he told me if I went to Syracuse, they would treat me better than any place else.
Now, was he a man of his word?
Well, I didn't know, but I gave him my word that I'd go to Syracuse, and he died 2 months later.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a man of my word.
And you went there?
I went to Syracuse because Ernie Davis asked me to go. He passed away. I gave him my word, and I'm a man of my word.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
And it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Obviously, yeah. That jacket says it all. My next question. When you got selected by Denver, when you thought about Denver going there, was it everything you thought it would be?
I couldn't believe I was drafted by the Broncos. I was waiting to be drafted by the Jets. I had made a deal to go to the Jets, but they had the 9th pick and the Broncos had the 6th pick.
Oh, wow.
So when the Broncos drafted me, I was like, where is Denver? Is there still covered wagons and the Native Americans still attacking them? I didn't know where Denver was.
Oh, my God.
But when I visited Denver, it was the finest, most beautiful place you've ever been. So I was happy I went to Denver. It didn't turn out well the first year because I was the first round draft pick ever to sign.
Are you kidding me? You were the first ever?
Yeah, and I got the nickname the franchise. So I somewhat saved the franchise, but I fell in love with Denver, and Denver was the best place for me.
Now my next question is, looking at the NFL the way it is right now, are you liking or approving the way that the NFL is running now, as opposed to what it was when you were playing?
Well, it's totally different, and Linden can tell you. It's nothing like what it was when I was drafted. Just think about it. I got drafted, I signed for $20,000. The most I've ever made in 9 seasons, leading the league 2 years, going to 5 Pro Bowls, never made over $70,000.
Wow.
So as my day, we all had jobs.
Oh, see, that's something a lot of people wouldn't even know now. So y'all had...
First 2 years I had an off-season job, yeah.
You had job also?
Yeah.
I used to cash my check at 7-Eleven. Got 2 Slurpees and the rest in 20s.
I can't imagine Mr. Brown from Pittsburgh cashing his check at 7-Eleven.
Well, back in those days, it wasn't really, the money wasn't there. I think the television contract was $300 million or something. No, $300,000.
Oh, wow.
For television. It's billions of dollars now.
3 television stations and no internet. So there's no revenue there.
See, now I gotta let you know something. You're more of an inspiration than you know. In your Hall of Fame speech, you mentioned about how difficult school was, and you went back to school and finished. You inspired a lot of young people.
Well, the thing about it is I'm being honored next month by the University of Denver Law School because I went to law school while I played.
So you have a law degree as well? Bigger than football, ladies and gentlemen. Floyd Little is bigger than football. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
You know what? He's the reason I'm in the NFL.
I got it here.
Colorado Springs, where I grew up. And, of course, when you live there, you're a Bronco fan. And it was all Floyd Little. I wanted to be a running back. It didn't work, but he's the reason I played. That's why it's so cool here for me today, because he's the reason I played. And the two guys, the other two Hall of Fame guys, I've played with on the same team. So this is a special day for me.
Oh, wow.
And I love the fact that I'm in the position I'm in because I can pull in the guys I want.
Well, we may have played on different teams,
right?
But we're family.
And as he was saying.
This is what, and he means it. All NFL players are family, and we understand that, we recognize that, and we may play hard against each other, maybe even harder against each other, but when it's over, we love each other.
So, and, people ask about, do you get mad, do you hate the guy in front of you? When you get to this level, when you get down in that stance, you get the ability to turn on all of your aggression, everything, and you're not doing it maliciously, you're doing it because you have a job to do, and as soon as the play's over, it's all gone, you help the guy up. Yeah, it's just, you have to control it, but there's no animal. I mean, there are guys that get mad at each other, of course, but it's part of the game. We know that, and I'm sure Floyd was the same way. When I never played to hurt anybody because I always thought about somebody taking a cheap shot on me and into my career, and I would never want to carry that the rest of my life. Like Jeff Barnes, right? He took Kellen Winslow out, and he feels terrible about it. And it was pure accident, but I don't want to let him.
I would be remiss being at today is draft day. Where were you during draft day, and what was your emotional state like?
Well, in my day, it was different than his day. I was at a friend of mine's house named Jerry Reinbelt. I was at Syracuse University. We didn't have a place where we went to draft and hung out in a room.
Right?
I was home. And I actually was visiting a friend of mine's house. He's gone now. And when they said the Denver Broncos draft Floyd Little, I jumped up and said, "Are you kidding me? Where the heck is Denver? Are you kidding me? Denver? Is that in the United States?" I was like really upset, but Denver was a place that I've gotten to love. It was the greatest place in the world for me. I became their franchise player,
right?
And helped Denver to become the team that there is today. And I just loved Denver. I loved the fans. When I got to the Hall of Fame, the fans stood and cheered me, and I was able to thank them, nationally on TV for their support for me. So I love the Denver fans.
That is beautiful. Hey, thank you very much for spending your time with me.
My pleasure.
You are truly an inspiration, young man. Thank you. I'm John Hightower. This is Football Fan Box. I am standing next to a legend, Mr. Kellen Winslow from the San Diego Superchargers, and Mr. Linden King, president of the NFL Alumni. Now, Mr. Winslow, do you remember your draft day, and how fondly do you remember it?
I remember it very well. I was at home in my apartment in Columbia, Missouri the night before. The phone went out. We had paid our bill, but it was a new area. The phone service went out, and we couldn't get it going. So the next morning, we got in the car and drove down to the local newspaper to find out that I'd been drafted by the Chargers.
Oh, wow. Now, who was with you at that time?
Well, it was my roommate, Leo Lewis, and Anthony Green, and we just had to try to work it out. So we got in the car, we drove down to the newspaper, and we got it over teletype. To say the least, it was before the internet.
You kids don't know how lucky you have it. Now, I was getting on Linden about playing in that 60-degree classic, below 60 below zero classic between you and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
How well do you remember that game?
I remember it every night. I have frostbite in my right big toe. So I never have forgotten that game and never will.
Oh my goodness. Now I was telling Linden I was supposed to get an electric football set that year, but some kids get electric football sets and some kids just aren't loved.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So that's what I remember.
Yeah, I got to tell you something about Kellen. When I was drafted as a safety, and I started putting on weight, and so the year what year did you get drafted? 83? 79. Okay, yeah. That spring they put me at tight end.
Oh man.
And I was thinking, man, this is too good to be true. I got Dan Fouts, I'm going to be the tight end for the Chargers. And then they draft this guy. It's like, nah, he can't be that good. So first day of practice, like, shit, I got to go put my cage back on because I'm back on defense.
Are you kidding me? You were going to be a tight end, and then they drafted the young guy?
He was a tight end.
What? No, seriously. No, and this is the way we're born.
Right?
I'd much rather be a stomper than a stompee, and I did not like getting hit. Oh. What I was saying was,
See?
This is why we rehearse.
Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just found some breaking news today. These two gentlemen played on a band. What kind of music did y'all play?
We were a cover band, nothing original. We did all kinds of stuff. We did George Benson. We did Van Morrison.
Oh, wow.
Linden is a great guitar player and a great singer. He really is.
You don't have to lie, sir.
No, it's not a lie. He really is. He put together a great group of guys to back us up and to help us with background vocals. And I was just, the name. I was a pretty guy.
Ah, see. Yeah. See, you lucky you had a pretty face to play.
Man, I wish we got a picture here somewhere. Him and I singing there. We both look good.
Oh,
we both had bumps and stuff where they're not anymore.
Oh, man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you got an exclusive. Mr. Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow and the president of the NFL Alumni, Mr. Linden King. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my boys. Welcome back to Football Fan Box. I am John Hightower. I am here with the legend, Mr. Jay Schrader. Mr. Jay, I got to ask you, do you remember your draft day and what were your feelings and emotions like?
1984, I was ecstatic because I was coming out of baseball and nobody had any idea. So I was just glad to be drafted in the 3rd round.
Oh, man. Now, what was your favorite memories of playing in the NFL? Like when you said to yourself, man, this is a great life.
My favorite memory of all time is the first time I got to play, I was the guy that came in and replaced Theismann when he broke his leg. So it was a Monday night game. It's against the Giants, and President Reagan's in the stands. But other than that, it wasn't a big deal.
I forgot all about that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember, that game is where the movie The Blind Side came from, where Joe Theismann got hit by Lawrence Taylor, and he was screaming to the sidelines to bring the medics in. And the next guy that comes in is Mr. Jay Schrader. Now, if it was me, I would have already left the stadium knowing that I'm the backup. But that just tells me your guts.
Well, here's the thing. Back then, there was, only a 37-man roster. I was the only other quarterback. And I'm like, they just broke his leg. I got to figure out a way to stand up the rest of the game.
Oh, my God. And you know what? Who won that game? I don't remember.
We ended up winning the game. I ended up throwing a couple of touchdown passes, and we beat the Giants that night.
Wow. After seeing this starter get hurt and get killed by the most devastating defensive end in the world, he comes in and leads his team to a victory.
No, it was a Monday night. We didn't play Thursday back then. We played Monday.
Now, Mr. Lynn, you know I got to ask you this question. Have you ever had a chance to play against this gentleman?
Ask him.
Yes.
Oh, you got to explain that one.
Against and with. So I'd much rather have him on my side than when it was against me. Because he did not have a nice look on his face when he was coming across the line of scrimmage.
Oh, man.
He looked like he wanted to hurt me.
He's so friendly at the meetings. He was dangerous.
No, he's not.
Well, we like to say the great thing about the NFL is you get paid for doing what you get arrested for on the street.
Yeah,
So it's like, hi, Jay. I'm coming.
Now,
And that's how he would say it. Before the snap, he'd go, "Here I come." I'm like, really? Here we go.
oh, man.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell the audience something. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing on This is what we look like in real life next to these guys, man. So again, Mr. Schrader, thank you very much, my
You're
man.
welcome. You're welcome.
Oh man, Jay Schrader, Mr. Linden King, Football Fan Box. We are back. Welcome back to Football Fan Box. I am here with the legend, the man, the king of the D-line, Mr. Fred Dean. Now, Mr. Dean, do you remember your draft day, and do you remember the emotions that you were going through?
Well, I was the 35th player picked, and I don't know whether it was Kool-Aid or cold drink, but I was drinking one of them, and I was kind of high off of that, and I feel really good about it.
That must have been a really good time, man. Now, that 49ers, when you went to the 49ers and you took them to the Super Bowl, what kind of memories do you have from that year, 1981?
Well, I'm saying that was the year that I left the Chargers, and I left Linden and all my friends back there, but I had to go on to the 49ers and with Coach Bill Washington make a difference so that we could move forward. And, it was something that I knew that I could do with the Chargers, but it didn't happen and ended up with the 49ers.
See, now that's incredible. He went to a situation because the 49ers weren't a dominant team when he went there. It wasn't until he went there that they realized their potential. Now, I got to ask my man, what was it like when your buddy left you?
Well, San Diego had an incredible offense, and they got that offense by trading away all our good defensive people. And so it wasn't cool. We needed him. I feel bad for Dan Fouts. I do, because he's one of the most prolific quarterbacks that ever played the game, but he had to score 50 points because we couldn't keep anybody out of the end zone. It's like, it was embarrassing.
See, they're being a little humble. That San Diego team was phenomenal. It's just sometimes things don't work. Bad luck. Sometimes you play in minus 60 degrees and the things don't go your way. Now.
We're playing Kansas City, and he came out and he goes, all right, boy, he came into the defensive side of the locker room. He goes, okay, boys, just keep them under 50.
Now, I got to ask you, were you part of that musical band that he was talking about at San Diego? They had a group?
No. Kellen and I had a group.
Right.
He and Kellen had a different group.
Oh, you got to tell me about this.
I'm saying it was, the group that we had was the High Five, something we threw together, and we started to enjoy ourselves, but like everything else, it fell apart because I ended up in San Francisco.
See? They could have been platinum album artists, but he had to go to San Francisco and win a Super Bowl. This has been Football Fan Box, and I'm sitting here with a Hall of Fame legend, Mr. Fred Dean. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I got the beautiful young ladies behind me cheering us on. My ladies, what's your name?
Donna
and
Krista.
They are my ladies. Thank you, my girls. This is the conclusion of the 2019 NFL Draft. It was a spectacular show. Caesars Entertainment put on a show, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL alumni was magnificent, and they deserve credit for doing everything to help this city get to be where it's going. Now, in closing, I would like to say thank you to the Hall of Famers who came up and graciously gave us some time. I would also like to thank the city of Las Vegas for making this whole thing possible, and a special thanks to Jan Jones for making sure all the red tape was cut out and giving us the freedom to put on a show that was off the charts. So we'll see you next year when the world descends on Las Vegas for the 2020 NFL Draft.